Yeah, good afternoon, students. Uh, Welcome you all once again for the social class on the topic 1857 revolt or the first war of Indian independence. Yeah, well, in the previous class we had a discussion about the different types of different reasons for the revolt, and now let us have a discussion on the military causes. Yeah, students, military causes or military reasons for the 1857 revolt. Remember, in this military causes, we can see first thing, we need to know that there were nearly 2,80,000 soldiers who were working for the British Army. Totally 2,80,000 soldiers working there, and among those, nearly 50,000 soldiers were British, and the remaining 2,30,000 were the Indians who were working for British Army. It shows that Indians were working more comparing to the British. And Indian soldiers, those who were working, that is this total strength what we see, these total number of Indian soldiers who were working in British Army were facing almost all the pathetic condition. It's nothing but the painful moment. How can we say that the Indian soldiers working for British were painful or in a pathetic conditions? The first thing that we see is their situation was worst. We can say by seeing no proper status. The status that was given for the Indian soldiers was waste in this army. The second one that we see is promotions were limited, and in this status we can see that Indian soldiers were almost all reserved for the lower posts. During wars they need to carry the luggage, weapons and other things. Only they have been reserved for such works, and promotions were reserved only for British. Higher grades were not given for Indian soldiers who were working for British. And when you come to the salary, see we saw the status, what was there, promotions, and finally the salary. Even when you come to salary, we see that Indians were paid 8 times less than the British. We can say that British were getting 8 times more salary comparing to the Indians. And the immediate reason what we see, the religious belief. Indians were forced to fight overseas. Usually the British were having war with the French. So in those wars, British want Indians to fight for them. So they want Indian soldiers to go abroad. They want to cross Indians. And according to the religious belief of India, overseas were considered as a big sin for Indians. They never want to cross the oceans. These were some of the military causes what we say. These were things which can say that why Indian soldiers' condition was pathetic in British Army means these are some of the reasons. If you get a question also, you can answer these. Next, what are the immediate cause, or you can say what is the beginning or the immediate cause for this war? Remember, when Indians came to know that the British were hardly 50,000, whereas maximum strength was Indians, then they got an idea, or they came to the conclusion that if they stand united, they can defeat the British easily. If they stand united, they can defeat the British easily. This was the point that came to the British Indian mind. And at this moment, we see that the British tried to introduce a new type of gun, which was being called as the Royal Enfield guns. A new type, improved gun was introduced. And there was a rumor about this gun. Rumor. I think you may know, you can understand what the word rumor is. There was a rumor which spread out which says that the bullets of these guns, the bullets of Royal Enfield gun, were being smeared with fats. They were being smeared with fats. Now what type of fat it was? It was being smeared up or packed up or greased up with the fats of pig as well as cow. It was a belief. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳಿದರು ಏನಂತ, ಹೊಸದಾಗಿ ಬಂದಿರತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಗನ್ಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ರೂಮರ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಒಂದು ಹಂಗೆ ಗಾಳಿ ಮಾತು ಅಂತ ನಾವೇನು ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ, ಒಂದು ಸುದ್ದಿ ಅಂತ ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ, ಆ ರೀತಿಯಾಗಿ ಒಂದು ಗಾಳಿ ಮಾತು ಅಥವಾ ಒಂದು ರೂಮರಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಯಿತು, ಕನ್ಫರ್ಮ್ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಆದರೂ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇತ್ತು ಏನಂತ, ಆ ಬುಲೆಟ್ಸ್ಗಳನ್ನು ಏನಿದೆ ಸ್ಮಿಯರ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸ್ಮಿಯರ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಅದನ್ನು ಪ್ಯಾಕಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡಿರೋದು ಯಾವುದರಿಂದ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಫ್ಯಾಟ್ಸ್ಗಳಿಂದ, ಕಬ್ಬಿನಿಂದ. ಯಾವ ಕಬ್ಬು? ಪಿಗ್ ಮತ್ತು ಕೌ, ಈ ಎರಡೂ ಪ್ರಾಣಿಗಳ ಒಂದು ಕಬ್ಬಿನಿಂದ ಅದನ್ನು ಸ್ಮರ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಥವಾ ಪ್ಯಾಕ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತ. ಇವಾಗ ಆ ಬುಲೆಟ್ಸ್ ಬಾಕ್ಸನ್ನು ಓಪನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಹೆಂಗೆ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು? ದೇ ನೀಡ್ ಟು ಓಪನ್ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ವಿತ್ ದ ಮೌತ್ ಬೈ ಬೈಟಿಂಗ್ ಇಟ್. ಅದನ್ನು ಬೈಟ್ ಮಾಡಿನೇ ಓಪನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋ ಒಂದು ಪರಿಸ್ಥಿತಿ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಆಯಿತು. And in such moment you can see that the cow, which is a sacred for Hindus, and whereas the pig, you can see, it was being prohibited by Muslims. Now the soldiers who were working in British army were Muslims as well as Hindus. Now who is going to open this package? Actually they were the cartridge. They were the cartridges which were supposed to be opened. And they said these cartridges were smeared up with the fats of pigs and cows. In such situation, the Muslims as well as the Hindus who were working for the British army, they went against. And remember, this is the immediate cause. This is the immediate cause of 1857 revolt or the first war of Indian independence. Then this rumor which was going on, the rumor, it caused up in such a way, it went in such a way that it led to unrest where in Barakpur. In Barakpur we can see the soldiers were unrest due to this cartridges. Okay. Because it was being told by the British officer that the soldiers were directed to load the bullets by chewing off a part. Means they have to remove it by the mouth and they need to fill it into the gun. And the soldiers of Barakpur, they revolted against it. And when they revolted, one soldier, what he did? He said, I am ready to use it. He said he was ready to use. And when the British officer came to know that one person or one soldier is ready to use, he was so happy. And he ordered this soldier to use that gun. But this soldier who came forward to use the gun, instead of using that gun, he shot this British officer directly. When he shot this British officer, he was arrested, and he was none other than Mangal Pandey. Remember, Mangal Pandey is considered as the man who went with, or who is the maker, or the one who is responsible for this 1857 revolt. And he is also called as the riser of this revolt, the father of this 1857 revolt, or the riser of this revolt. When the British soldiers caught him, they arrested him and they asked him why he did so act, which failed. But Mangal Pandey replied that he started this. He is the beginner of this, or we can say he led the fire. He led the spark of fire of freedom. And this spark which is being led by him will almost all burn the British kingdom. So with these words, he happily accepted death which was being given by the British court. They they gave a judgment of that he should be tried, hanged till death. So like this, Mangal Pandey started this revolt, we can say. Now how this revolt spread of mutiny, we can say. Where and all this spread? See, though it started from Barakpur, but later it spread to other parts. So from Barakpur, it went to Meerut. Even here, the British soldiers refused to use these cartridges. And even here also, many soldiers were arrested. Okay. And then, though they were being arrested and imprisoned, later, due to the situation created by the soldiers, they had to release them. And this incident which took place even in Meerut, it became a seed for the freedom movement, we can say. Remember the incident of Barakpur which was being done by Mangal Pandey, and the incident of Meerut that was being done by the soldiers there, who created issues in the prison, and finally they were released. These things led, or they were the seed for freedom movement. Okay. This is how the movement started. Now these soldiers, what were the next act? They entered the Red Fort. They went to Red Fort and they declared Bahadur Shah II as Mughal ruler. Remember, the British had removed him. The British removed him because he was not a natural hire. We have studied this in the doctrine of lapse. Though the British removed Bahadur Shah according to doctrine of lapse, the soldiers reached Red Fort and they declared Bahadur Shah once again as a Mughal ruler. And the protesters finally reached Delhi and the protest became intensified. And then this protest which was going on in Delhi, it finally, from Delhi, it reached Kanpur and also it reached Jhansi. So like this, the movement went on. Now let us see what were the incidents those took place in Kanpur. See, in Kanpur, we see that Nana Sahib was the ruler. And Nana Sahib, he raised his voice against revolt, in the revolt. And Tatya Tope was the assistant. We can say that Tatya Tope was the assistant of Nana Sahib. Okay. In the same manner, Jhansi. In Jhansi, Lakshmi Bai, as you might have read about her, Jhansi Rani Lakshmi Bai. She was at Jhansi. And remember, Jhansi Rani Lakshmi Bai is considered as the hero of 1857 revolt. Here in Kanpur, Nana Sahib was captured. After capturing Nana Sahib, the revolt was continued by his assistant Tatya Tope. Now what the British did, they made up a plan, and that was British tried to capture Jhansi. When the British tried to capture Jhansi, Tatya Tope came to the help of Jhansi. When Tatya Tope with the army, he came for the help of Jhansi, the British who were trying to capture Jhansi. Now they dropped up here, and directly in the absence of Tacha Tope, they occupied Kanpur. And this is how the British occupied Kanpur on one side, and on the other hand, Tacha Tope became helpless. And later they even captured Lakshmi Bai. So this is how finally Kanpur as well as Jhansi were once again occupied by the British. Though the revolt was started, though the revolt went for a long duration, but they could not succeed. And after this, next what we see is the incident that took place at Lucknow. In Lucknow, there was a queen. We can say that there was a queen in Lucknow by name Hazrat Mahal. Even Hazrat Mahal was ruling there along with a son, but both were defeated. This is how Lucknow was also captured. The freedom struggle which went on to the south of river Yamuna, on the bank of river Yamuna, the freedom struggle went for a long duration. Okay, and we see that Lakshmi Bai, Rani Lakshmi Bai, who was in Jhansi, she was almost all against doctrine of lapse. Okay, though she tried her best, it is seen that she also occupied Gwalior, but unfortunately she was defeated. She died a very heroic death in the battlefield itself. And remember, she is being considered as one of the great personalities. See, this 1857 revolt, which started in Barakpur, then went to Meerut, and from Meerut it went to Delhi. From Delhi it went to Kanpur. From Kanpur it went to Jhansi, and finally Lucknow. Though it went to all these places, though the people revolted from all these places, this did not succeed. The revolt did not succeed. Why it did not succeed? Now let us see what are the reasons for failure. Reasons for the failure of mutiny. Though many people tried, but they failed. What is the reason? We can see that there are many reasons for the failure of 1857 revolt. The first reason is it did not cover whole India. We can see that the revolt went in very few states, few regions, few kingdoms. Okay. It did not spread for the whole country. And the second thing was individual kingdom was concentrated. Individual kingdom was concentrated rather than Indian freedom. Rather than Indian freedom, individual kingdom was. Now, in Kanpur, Nana Sahib was fighting only for Kanpur. In Delhi, Bahadur Shah was fighting only for Delhi. In Hazrat Mahal was fighting only for Lucknow. So like this, none of them were concentrating for the freedom of the whole country. But the British had an intention, British had a proper aim. And the aim was to free, or we can say the aim of the British was to control whole India. See the difference there. British aim is to control whole India, whereas the aim of the rulers was to free only their kingdom. They were fighting only for their own kingdom, whereas the British were fighting for the freedom of the whole earth, to control the whole nation. This was the difference what we see between the Indian and the British army. And some of the major thing was disunity among Indians. Remember, Indians were not united while fighting. Some Indian rulers remained neutral. Some supported British and some fighting for freedom. Now just think, how is it possible to get victory? Because Indians were themselves divided here. So how they were divided? You can see some fighting, some neutral, and some supporting British. When this is the situation, how can we expect victory against British? But whereas the British, they had only one aim, and that aim was the freedom of their, or we can say the control over India. Okay, this is another reason. And the now next reason was Indian soldiers started the war, but there was direction and leadership scarcity. There was a scarcity of these two. No proper leadership. There was no proper direction. They are fighting, but they themselves don't know why they are fighting and why they are doing these acts. This was one of the reasons. And the next one was no proper military strategies. Okay. No proper military strategies, no proper planning, okay, and skills. Here you can see proper military strategies are the skills, the plannings, and along with this, weapons. Indian weapons were outdated, whereas the British weapon were advanced technologies. So even this is one of the reasons for the failure of the 1857 revolt. And the next major thing what we see, some loyal kings of British. Though they were Indian rulers, they were very much loyal to the British. Means they were very much honest, sincere towards the British. And this is also one of the reasons why the 1857 revolt failed. Okay. And now let us see what are the results of this mutiny or the results of 1857 revolt. The main result here is East India Company ended. East India Company ended and British government started. East India Company came to an end and the British government started. The administration of East India Company or the administration of India, which was still now under the control of East India Company Governor General, it was now handed over to the Secretary of Indian Affairs. Till now, which was controlled by Governor General, now it went to the Secretary of Indian Affairs. East India Company ended, British government started the administration, and the administration from Governor General, it was handed over to the Secretary of Indian Affairs. And this Secretary of Indian Affairs will be responsible for the Parliament. Now, which is the Parliament? It is a British Parliament. Okay. So, along with this, there were some changes which took place. Now, what are those changes? Let us see here. The Queen gave a declaration. The Queen, she gave a declaration. And that declaration, the Queen of Britain who gave a declaration, it is being called as 1858 Declaration. And remember, this declaration of 1858, it is also called as a Magna Carta. Now, what was this Magna Carta? In 1214, the British Emperor of the time gave some facilities for the Romans or for the British during that time, and that was called as Magna Carta. And the same in 1858, the Queen, that is the British Queen, gave some facilities for Indians in India, and it was also being called as Magna Carta. Now, what were these points, or what were these facilities or the declarations given? The first declaration that was given was the agreement. Whatever the agreement is being entered between East India Company and local kings were to be accepted by the British Parliament. Second point, non-pursuance of regional expansion. The first says, whatever the agreement is being signed between East India Company and the local king, whatever the agreements are signed, those agreements will be accepted by the British Parliament. They are not supposed to be changed. And regional expansion to be stopped. Non-pursuance of regional expansions. Now the British will not going to expand their regions. Then a stable government will be given to Indians. Then means stable government. Till now Indians were not having a proper government where it was being controlled by the East India Company. Now they gave a declaration that stable government will be given. Then equality before law. All will be considered equal. Indians as well as the British, both are equal in sight of law. Then non-interference of government. Non-interference of British government. Where they are not going to interfere. The British government is not going to interfere in religious matters of Indians. They are not going to interfere in any of the religious matters of Indians. And they are not going to create any issues in Indian religious, because they came to know that it is not possible to win Indians when it is being hurting their religion. So these are some of the declarations given. And in the conclusion we can say that, when we come to the point of conclusion, we say that British realized only with love and affection can win India. They cannot win India by force. If they win the love and affection of Indians, only then it would be easy for them to win. And next, the inability to listen the voice of Indians was considered as the main reason for violence. It says that the British should develop ability to listen. Ability to listen for Indians. Okay. And they planned up to have a proper legislation and implementation. Legislation and implementation of associations. That is the British. Okay. They said that they are going to introduce proper legislation and they are going to implement those legislations properly in India. Okay. This is how the first war of Indian independence came to an end. But overall we can say that it was not possible for the British to win over India without the support of some of the Indians who supported the British during this time. So that's the end of your 1857 revolt, or the first war of independence. So in the next class we'll have a discussion with a new topic. Thank you one and all.